Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Good? Well, I'm Rachel Marks. Konnichiwa. Genki desu ka? So I just spoke Japanese, which means, hi, how are you? And the reason why I spoke Japanese is because I want to give you a backstory on how I adapted into a new culture and how I adapted into a new career, which is IT and cybersecurity. So it all started when I started teaching in Okinawa, Japan, as an English teacher. And I was really enjoying the island life and just exploring the world. That's me on the mountaintop, and loved it. Took that risk, and I'm so glad that I'm here today to be on the stage with you. And I realized that I was around a lot of military people and people who worked for the Department of Defense. Any military veterans or anyone who worked with the DoD before? All right. So I was hanging around a lot of Navy personnel, huya, that's what they say. And they kind of got me exposed to the world of cybersecurity. I wasn't raised in a technological home. My father, a preacher, my mom, an educator, as well as a singer. So this field was so new to me, and the way how they told me about IT, how it's such a valuable field to be in, and also there's so many opportunities, I thought to myself, IT, cybersecurity, it's very interesting. I like the idea that we use technology for pretty much everything we do nowadays. It's used in every industry. And I thought, wow, I want to be a part of something that is impactful, that is just ever-changing and ever-growing. And I love change, and I know Ken Roberts from Next, he mentioned that the only constant is change. And I really liked that. So I said, okay, I want in. How can I get into this field? So they recommended that I get my Security Plus certification, which was a baseline certification to work for the DoD. And so I did that. I was studying while abroad in Okinawa. And the first time, it's a whole new career. I was teaching, so I had to adapt to this new language of technology. And it was just completely new to me. And first try, didn't pass the exam. Second try, didn't pass it. You know what they say, third time's a charm, and then I passed. And I was like, yes. So I received the opportunity to work at the Naval Hospital in Okinawa, Japan. And this is where I was getting a lot of just training and insight. So we were going to different clinics on the island, implementing new hardware, and also provisioning access for newcomers on the island. And this was a thing. I loved it. I loved that I was growing and learning. And so, due to unforeseen circumstances, I did move back to the States. And this was a time where I was just applying and applying for jobs. And I think I applied for maybe 100 plus jobs, and I got about 2 or 3 callbacks. And I'm like, what I'm doing is just, it's not working. No one is really giving me that, hey, come in for an interview. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to keep looking, but I need to try something different because this isn't working. And so I found a job that was right down the street from me at the time, and I saw that they were hiring for an IT role. And I said, okay, I'm going to apply right now. I applied. But then the next day I said, you know what, I'm going to put on my clothes and pretty much dress up like I'm going into an interview and have my resume printed, and I'm going to actually just go to the office and see what will happen. What would be the worst thing that happens, right? So it's a medium-sized company, and I walk in. To the left, I see the front desk receptionist, and I say, "Hi, I'm Rachael Marks. I'm looking for an IT role. Are you guys hiring?" And she said, "I don't know, but I'll take a look. I'll actually go ahead and speak with someone in the IT department." So as I was seated and waiting patiently and nervously, someone walked out of the room that was pretty much in front of the front desk associate. And come to find out, it was the CEO of the company. And so she introduced me to the CEO, and I told him, yes, I had about a few experience in IT back in Okinawa, and I really want to get my feet wet and just immerse and get back into just this career. And he was like, "Okay, cool. I think the director of IT is also here as well. Do you want to meet him?" I was like, "Sure." So I'm like, "Okay, I was not expecting this at all, but this is great." And so I met with the director of IT, and the next week, I got a call back, and I got the job. So it was amazing. And then after that, kind of went to different companies. I was working at NCR, where I was working with a lot of point-of-sale systems and working for different restaurants and opening their sites and configuring their software, things of that sort. And then on to Equifax, where I was working as a cybersecurity engineer, mostly in the information assurance and bringing out new security initiatives there. And now I'm at Ameris Bank, and still in the field, and I'm loving it and growing and expanding. So this is something that this quote, I think, resonated with me a lot during the times when I had to adapt into a new career, into a new country. And when I was even applying for jobs, I had to kind of adapt and say, okay, what I'm doing is not working, so I need to make a change here. And it says, "I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." So the reason why I talk about my story in the terms of adapting is because in technology, in the field that we work in, there's always changes. There's always new innovations or a new way of doing things. And with technological adaptation, it is really the process of modifying existing conditions in an effort to achieve alignment. So alignment in an organization that you're working with. So throughout history, technology, we start off with communication technology, so the telephone, and then internet and email. Then we go on to computing and automation, mainframe computers, then personal computers, then we went on to cloud computing, and then digital transformation in business processes, so enterprise resource planning systems, Internet of Things, as well as e-commerce and digital services, early online retail, mobile commerce and apps, and then artificial intelligence and machine learning. So with all of this new technology, we as professionals, we have to adapt to this new technology. We have to incorporate it into the organization that we're working in. And blockchain technology as well, so cryptocurrencies. So the thing about us cyber professionals is that I realize we really do have to take on that chameleon effect, where we are working in so many different industries, right? We're working in logistics, we're working in finance, we're working in just so many other industries, healthcare. And we have to realize that within different industries, we have to kind of adapt to the industry priority, the company's priorities, and their bottom line. So with that, when I think of cyber adaptation, I'm thinking there's innovation going on. There's new creation, and we want to implement it. A lot of businesses might see a new, shiny technology, and they want to implement it. But it might not be secure. And they're just ready to just implement, and it's like, okay, I understand. It's cool. It's a trend. It's exciting, right? And they want to hit their goals with this new technology. And so us as cyber professionals, we have to be transparent. We have to be able to communicate in a way that they can understand, speak their language, right? So that is us adapting. We are really adapters here, I think. So now we have the equipment, we have the responsibility to communicate and let them know, okay, you want this? We can do this, but let's make sure that we're doing this in a more maybe secure or right way or slow and steady way, maybe. Sometimes that's not the case. And yeah, so I love interactive sessions, and it looks like no one's eating right now, so that's awesome. I have a sheet of paper on each table. And the goal of this is I want you as a table, each table, to collaborate with each other, interact with each other. And on that paper, you'll see an industry. You're assigned to an industry. So I want you guys to talk among yourselves and think of what could be some challenges in this industry and what would be my cyber approach. What are some challenges that might arise? So think of a cybersecurity challenge and try to see how you would implement it in this industry. So I'm going to give you all about a few minutes. Are you guys ready to interact? Please say yes. Yes? All right. Okay, good. And also, I know it's a big crowd, so I would really like for each table to have a representative. And if you can, I'll have a few tables come up, or one person come up and tell me, okay, this is my strategy. This is what we're going to do. In this industry, we tend to deal with this, and things of that sort. So I want you all to start mingling and start meeting of the minds. Let's go. Okay, great. Huh? Oh, okay.
When you have them come up, have them speak into the mic.
Okay.
Just give it to them.
Okay.
It'll be on.
Okay.
That was 25 minutes. Still practice on it. Everybody's really engaged right now. Great job. Want to see my notes? Huh? They're all up.
It's still on, so I can't. Testing. Okay. All right, so we're going to start rounding up. In a minute, we'll start rounding up. And we're done. All right, so we're rounding up, guys. I hope you guys have some good nuggets for us. All right, so raise of hands if anyone who wants to come up. All right? And come on, yes. And please provide us with your name and the industry you're in.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mohammed Sohail. I'm with AT&T, small company, so it's telecommunications. So our topic was finance as an industry, and one of the first things was cybersecurity challenges. I thought as a group, everybody brainstormed. It's a team effort. We thought budget, any industry is a big challenge. Getting, buy things. E-payments, cryptocurrency, compliance regulations such as PCI DSS. Fraud is a big factor in financial services. Regulations, I know financial services are highly regulated. With new requirements, if you're a CISO, you're on the hook with the latest and greatest. Everybody, I'm sure, knows about CISO's accountability. We have privacy impact, also GDPR, your international bank. Sanctions, anti-money laundering, just to name a few challenges. I think there are a handful. And we came up with the strategies. The second part was think about strategies, how you're going to address those challenges. We kept it short. People, process, and technologies. That covers everything at the end of the day. You have to have the people from the board level to the front lines, and you have to have the processes, because if you don't have defined processes, everybody running their own show, it's a disaster. And the technologies. I always quoted, you cannot fight a battle with a kitchen knife. So you have to invest in tools. People still running Windows XP, and you'll be shocked there are people running Windows XP. So I think those are the high-level strategies to people, process, and technologies. The third factor was communication. We said open communication, tone at the top, and training. I think training gets shortchanged. I'm sure all of you are here. I think your senior leadership believes in training people, because you can patch computers. The only way to patch humans is training. I wish a lot more people know that. We didn't get to the last part, approaches to adapt. That's pretty much it. If you want, I could take a stab. Is that good enough?
That was awesome. Let's give a round of applause for, what's your name again? Mohammed. Awesome. So I like that. The industry was finance, and he realized, okay, in finance, there's regulations that you have to abide by. So that was great. Thank you so much, Mohammed. All right, next up. Okay, come on. And then again, give us your name as well as what industry.
All right, my name is Reggie Davis. Our industry was finance. And what we came up with for cybersecurity challenges was protection of PCI data, protection of personal identifiable information, which the company is responsible for, and of course, insider threat. Also, another attack on that we thought about was attacks coming from that low up here from the top, where they attack your CEO, trying to get you to send out gift cards, break that chain of confidence. And one of the things we came up with for strategies was doing internal audits on a timely basis, scheduling those audits so that everybody knows when those audits are done, because you really don't want EY telling you what your problems are. The other one is internal testing of controls. It's nice to have all these fancy tools, but if they don't work or if they're not configured, it doesn't matter. Then we have, for communication, we have security awareness. If the employees don't know, they don't know. If they don't realize you're under a texting campaign attack, they're not going to be on the lookout for it. If you don't send out testing emails to keep them that little bit of paranoia, they don't have it. And then the last bit was approaches to adapt. And I think the best approach to adapt any of these policies, whether said before me or it's going to be said after me, is the lack of silos, because multiple teams need to work together in order to make all of this happen.
Thank you, Reggie. That was great. I liked the part about where Reggie said, to do away with silos, we have to work as a team, as a whole. Doesn't matter which department you're in, that is very important. Thank you, Reggie. And then another one from okay, come on up. And your name and your industry, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Terrell. Our industry over here on the table was banking. And so the challenges, we came up with a lot of different challenges. Off lead, we had some regulatory challenges in banking, like GLBA or HIPAA, or if we're doing like PHI. Another one we had was third-party risk management, as well as fraud, opportunities for fraud to happen. Some of the strategies that we came up with were policies, or if we diversification of risks, like if there were for fraud, some diversification, get other actual companies to come and help out. And some of the strategies we came to, another one was annual training. So everyone's kind of aware of what's going on, as well as having some kind of check down to make sure that people are at least having an opportunity to be trained. The way that we communicate it, how we can communicate that as well as leveraging annual training for communication, as well as open door policies and things of that nature for leadership, as well as requiring leadership to actually send out notifications. Some people like do Monday minutes for different companies and things of that nature. And the approaches to adaptation, one of the things for approaches to adaptation was the integration of kind of ongoing monitoring from internal as well as external, as well as having a team approach to kind of approach any kind of risks that are out there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Terrell. So he had banking, and I liked the fact that he mentioned fraud detection in banking. That happens a lot. So thank you so much. And one more. Okay. There you go. Hi.
Hello, I'm Tracy Owens with Lockheed Martin. Obviously, we're the DoD, so I'm talking a little bit about classified and all of our strategies and all of our hurdles. So some of our strategies as being a classified organization we can't talk about it. So, but on a serious note, we have a lot of DoD mandates, just like you do on the banking side. So we are constantly pressed. Obviously, we design planes that are secret. So we have a lot of intellectual knowledge as well that we want to protect. Strategies. Everyone in this room, we like to partner with you and learn strategies, because we are under a lot of pressure to maintain the DoD ever-changing climate with STIGs and SCAP and all those things that the government gives us. So really the strategy is to partner and get suggestions from groups like this. So thank you for having us, and thank you for being here. Approaches to adapt. We are constantly lobbying for government changes in the cyber world. There are a lot of mandates coming, like zero trust, and a lot of things. We can't do cloud, right? So there's a lot of things that we can't do on the government side that we're fighting for, because how can we build state-of-the-art systems to protect our country if we have all these hoops that we have to go through? So that's about it. Can't talk about too much more.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. And she had logistics, and she mentioned DoD. So a big thing, as she said, is partnering and doing events like this where we can get insights and take that insight and implement it in our organization. And I did see someone else raise their hand, so I'll do one more. Yes. There you go.
My name is Lafa. I work for Leidos, but also on the DoD side. But we had logistics. So under cybersecurity challenges, we put, and I'm going to read this out. My teammate wrote it, so it's a little different. Distributed workforce, remote, supply chain, low IT knowledge, and then for strategies, IT assessment management, risk assessments, business impact analysis, and data classification. And for communication, internal stakeholders, business to business, regulators, and for approaches to adapt, get buy-in. You said buy-in? Okay. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Lafa. Okay, awesome. So another DoD in logistics. So, as we close, I want to keep this in the back of your minds, that change can be good. And I know sometimes we don't like change, and it might be just a lot to deal with, but it can be good. So embrace it. Embrace being able to adapt to different situations, because in cybersecurity, sometimes you just never know. Things will happen that is out of your control. And takeaways. So being aware of the chameleon effect, where we have to adapt to different situations, different industries, and we as cyber professionals, we are adapters. Would you say so? Are we adapters? Or, yeah, I'd like to believe that, or we can become that. And doing that, we can align with different industries and organizations and their goals and help them keep businesses running. Thank you. And you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my name here. So feel free to connect, and you all have a great rest of your day.